At any rate, do you know who was not cold?
Oh, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing, the director of SCAP. And she has so much on her plate.
Yeah,
She's in charge
absolutely.
of so many
Mm-hmm.
different
Yep.
divisions.
Speaking of plate, I got to work with Matt in the Gleaning Project, which is part of their food insecurity.
Yes. And I got to work with Lisa in their grocery store, which is amazing.
Yeah, and there's so many other things, so I can't wait for people to be able to learn more, volunteer their time, and just
It's a wonderful, wonderful project, really.
I will never forget it.
No, but for you to not forget it and to keep you warm.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think after today you need to be warmed up a little bit. I got you this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a shirt from the Cleaning
Oh,
Project.
okay. All right. So this is the Matt had one of these on.
Yeah.
That's so cool. It's their logo. And
Yeah.
it's the Gleaning Project. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Well, I'm
Keep
not
you nice and
giving.
warm.
I'm not giving up. So maybe we can wear it on our next job.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. It'll be great. You need to warm up your heart. And I have just the thing for you. Ready?
Okay.
And da-da-da.
You stole the book?
Oh, I didn't steal it. This is my copy that I was telling you about from home.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, and part of this gift to you is that I am going to read to you from the book. So, The Gift of Love. Snuggle in. It's story time. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I'm going to read my favorite part. I think you'll really like it. So, come on. Snuggle in. You feel a little stiff.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Ready? Mm-hmm. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed.
That's nice. That
So
will
that's for you.
that'll warm my heart for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
So yeah.
Just keep on warming up, man. Really, these sequins are scratchy.
Yeah. No, I think I'm good. I think I've had enough family for
Oh
the day.
no
I think
no
I'm
no no!
good.
I have not had enough. So you just sit there and enjoy this.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
What did you do for that hour when you were in the cooler?
Nothing.
Welcome to the Gettysburg Hotel, established in 1797, located in the heart of downtown Gettysburg. Easy walking distance to shops, museums, restaurants, and the battlefield.
Just a quick drive from Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia, which makes it an ideal spot for travelers wanting to escape to the past.
While the hotel may be historic in nature, it offers modern amenities and exceptional service. And before I go to my room, I'm going to take a quick stop at the on-site Starbucks. The hotel has 119 spacious guest rooms and 56 suites.
Every guest room has updated amenities featuring a fresh new look. However, each guest room is unique, considering the property has held a variety of different roles in the past, including being known as the West Wing of the White House during President Eisenhower's administration.
In fact, there's even a suite named after him. Let's go take a look.
After a long day of seeing the sights, wind down and enjoy a cocktail and amazing casual comfort foods at One Lincoln. Their seasonal menu offers a variety of local favorites that I'm sure any member of the family will enjoy. The Gettysburg Hotel hosts a wide range of weddings, events, and conferences. They offer 8,500 square feet of flexible event space, which includes the historic Grand Ballroom, which originally was the Gettysburg National Bank from 1814 to 1914, which features exquisite 28 feet high ceilings and an impressive 19th century bank vault.
Whether you're coming to Gettysburg for a work trip, a wedding, or just to see the sights, Gettysburg Hotel is the perfect location in the center of all the action. And we can't wait to see you on your next adventure.
This very day, and so it's
Yeah. Kind of like when John Kruk was batting against Randy Johnson.
The helmet flying. That was in Baltimore.
Hello again, sports fans, and welcome this Tuesday night, June 17th, 2025. Eights are wild. Corey Smith is here. Brady Denburn is here. His Brushtown Bulldogs South Penn League game washed out. Welcome to the program. Glad you could join us.
Thanks for having me.
We gave you an open invitation, so glad we weren't kidding. I mean, we don't mess around with stuff like that. So bring us up to date. How's your summer been? Your last semester at college. When was the last time you were on here?
I think 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, I think, yeah.
Okay, when I wasn't here. Okay, right, okay. Well, bring me up to date then.
Second semester went pretty smoothly. Summer's been just basically working and then going to the gym and playing for the Brushtown Bulldogs. So
Yeah, an up-and-coming franchise.
Yes.
What position do you play?
usually I'm in center field. So
No pitching?
no, I'm not a
That's
pitcher.
not in your bailiwick?
Nope.
Okay, and we talked about, just before we came on the air, Hagerstown, one of the newer teams in the South Penn League. I think they joined, less than 5 years ago, maybe,
I think so. Yeah.
or right around then, and they've been dominating ever since day one. A lot of wooden bat type guys that go play in the Cape Cod League or whatever, but speaking of that, that's a good segue. The Bulldogs knocked them off. What was the key to that game? I mean, probably had good pitching, and
Yeah, we had
timely hitting, and solid
great start.
defense.
Great start by Aaron Smith. He just basically threw strikes the whole time. They hit him right to us and had a lot of, like you said, a lot of clutch hitting. So
Mm-hmm. Any relation to Corey?
I don't think so, but
Okay,
it could be. I mean,
There's a lot of
with all the Smiths out there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it is week 888. And let's cover our basic ground because, we delved into a lot of areas. Did we talk Triple Crown last week?
I think we did. I mean, we
Did?
hit a lot of sports last week.
Yeah,
so
we covered the rainbow. So I want to start just because I want to pick some low-hanging fruit, and you guys probably put a lot more thought into it than I did. Mm-hmm. So hottest seed in sports. I'll start with the teams. Obviously, these are teams facing elimination. So you have Edmonton Oilers in the NHL and the Pacers in the NBA.
Yep.
Now, Indiana's they're both going to be home, right? When facing elimination at home. So, right, Edmonton's at home, the Pacers are at home.
Well, tonight
Game
they're-
6.
Game 6 is in Sunrise in Florida, so they have to win that game, and then it'll
Oh,
be
and
Edmonton.
then,
Yeah.
so they had the home ice advantage. I didn't realize that. So Edmonton, well, yeah, so they have a daunting task because apparently they don't play well in Florida. So probably if you're a gambling person, go heavy on the Panthers, right?
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, and then the ratings are way down for the NBA on TV. First of all, it's kind of hard to find. You click around the usual suspects: ESPN, TBS, TNT, I guess. And then it ends up being on ABC, which it should be. It used to be that was the network. You would have to every game would be on ABC, and lo and behold, it is again. But I guess there's small markets, and interest is just way down.
So yeah, I'm right with you with the hot.
Okay, well, let me give you one more. I got
okay,
one final individual. Tyrese Halliburton. Didn't he go 0 for the first half in that
Yeah,
pivotal game 5?
You had to get the milk carton and be like, where's Tyrese at? Because he was nowhere to be found.
Sometimes maybe my intention is to jumpstart his performance. It has happened before. We've seen it with Coach
Numerous
Franklin.
times, yeah.
I don't claim to have that kind of power, but but we did. But if we did, so go ahead, Brady. I know you put a lot of thought into it. Who you got here? Hot seat.
Mine's gonna have to be the Cincinnati Bengals. They haven't signed All-Pro Trey Hendrickson yet, and they drafted Shamar Stewart with the 17th pick, and have still yet to sign him. And he was at OTAs for the first couple of days, and then he left. And especially for a Bengals team who put all their money into the wide receivers with Higgins and Chase, and now had a terrible defense last year and not addressing it. Tried addressing it in the draft.
Who's the draft, or where's the draft pick play? You say he's a
Defensive end.
Okay, so yeah, that's a pass rush right there. Henderson led the league in sacks.
Yep.
I've already seen online that he's an Eagle. I mean, I don't believe half of what I see online.
Clickbait there, yeah.
Clickbait, yeah, I finally understand it. It's taken me quite a few years, but go ahead, continue.
Yeah, they just have
Plenty of room.
terrible defense last year, and you try to address it, and you do in the draft, but you don't even sign the guy, so it's just kind of confusing with what they're doing right now.
Well, because how many games did they score 30, 35 points and lost? I don't know, quite a few.
Yeah.
And they got off to that bad start. I think they won their last 5 and still missed the playoffs, so.
Yeah.
It seems like they've been on a bad start the last couple years. You know, they get that
Yeah.
slow September and then try to play that catch-up ball in, November, December, and sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But I'm going to go with the baseball route. I'm going to go with Kansas City Royals. Right now, they are on a 6-game losing streak. They got swept by the Yankees, swept by the A's, which, in that purpose, if
They're
you get,
back, the Athletics are back.
they're back. They won 3 in a row. But with the Royals now, they're 4 games under 500. And they don't have an easy slate coming up there at the end of the month there. They got Texas, San Diego, Tampa Bay, and then the Dodgers. So you got, 2 teams above 500, or 3 teams above 500 there with the Padres, Rays, and the Dodgers. So
I thought they had a good starting staff. I mean, maybe they're not meeting expectations. Maybe
It's the
Bobby
hitting.
Witt's not having that great, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, in this losing streak, they haven't scored more than 4 runs. So they've just been, losing games 2-0, 3-1. It's just the bats have not been cooking. And, with this, slate of games coming up there, they could easily be double digits in the wild card race. And we'll dive in that later bit there. But
Well, how about the Rafael Devers trade? Let's just leap ahead to that. We can come
Yeah.
back
Oh,
and
yeah,
fill in
that's-
the blanks. It's unscripted TV in your living room. But yeah, he hits a home run in the win,
Against the
and then they say, good news and good news. Thanks, you won the game, and I know you want to get out of here, so hope you like the West Coast.
I
Monster
was
trade.
I was surprised to see that. And the return that the Red Sox got, they got 2 pitchers, outfielder, and then mostly
Draft
not like
picks.
big name players, but players for the future. I look at it. I was just surprised to see that. You signed Devers for 10 years, 300 some million. He's going to be
Well,
your franchise
The
guy.
Giants took on the whole contract, I think,
Yep.
so. But still, don't the Red Sox have some monster prospect somewhere in the minor leagues?
Roman
Just
Anthony.
called all of them up. They had 3 this year. They brought up Christian Campbell early.
Yeah, second baseman.
Marcello Meyer, I think, was a couple weeks ago, and then Roman Anthony last week. So
That's the big prospect
Anthony.
one.
he's
Yeah,
number
yeah.
1. So
Yeah, he went deep last night against Seattle.
They won 2-0 again. Wasn't that the same
2-0,
score
yeah.
as the Yankees? So
I mean, I look at this trade where I feel like they could have got a bigger package, but it could have been hey, we just want him out. He's not.
got rid of all the salary responsibility, so that was a big part of it.
I'm not sure if other teams were not willing to eat up that salary or such.
one thing that I saw was that they didn't even ask anyone else. They just called San Francisco and said, do you want Devers on a trade?
Don't
Got
they
the
have
pieces.
Chapman? I mean, the Giants, isn't Chapman on the Giants now?
It looks like they're going to talk, and then he's probably going to be the DH. Chapman's going to be he's on the IL right now.
I
So,
know,
yeah,
but
he's
I
gonna be
know,
out
but
for-
I mean, it's like the same Bregman situation where Devers is not a very good defensive.
Yeah.
I mean, right? I mean, why
Liability.
wouldn't he try to learn first base? That seems odd to me. And that, I mean, so now he's what, DH or nothing, I guess? Is that,
maybe a different scenery. He might change his views there, but I
Yeah.
think he's just going to stick at DH unless there's another injury that he has to play third base. But I don't see him playing
he already
first
got
base
rid of
there.
all his
Yeah.
gloves, I guess.
Yeah, maybe he got some in the West Coast there, but yeah. So looking at the trade, I was just kind of surprised to see it, you don't see trades typically in the third week of June,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Speaking of trades, NBA, Desmond Bain, what do you guys make of that trade? We're jumping all over here, but that's
So
okay.
yeah.
I think it's
And what,
very.
4 number ones?
Yeah, but I think if you look at the Magic, with Paolo and Franz being out for most of the year this year, then they still got, I think, the 5 or 6 seed.
They overachieved.
So it's like
yeah.
a middle 20s pick. And in the NBA, 4 middle 20s picks aren't that valuable. Because you think of the
And
top.
they're spread out, I noticed, over many years in the future.
Yeah.
Into the 30s or something like
Yeah.
that. There,
So
yeah.
if you talk about like in the NBA draft, it's the lottery or bust most of the time. Like all the studs come from the lottery. Then like you'll have like your Jokic and your Giannis's, but those are few and far between. So
Yeah, I was right there with Brady there when seeing the trade. I was like, it was
Who's the other party? I forget off the top of my head.
Grizzlies.
the Grizz.
No, but I mean, who'd they get?
I can pull that up there. And
I think it was Cole Anthony might have been.
That's
involved.
right,
Yeah.
and there's some other guy that played quite a bit for the Magic.
I guess the Shining Star, if you want to.
Okay, you guys, I'm Philly centric. I'm going to go with Acuna Jr. I mean, the guy's what a great natural athlete.
Tear the ball,
All he can do is get out of bed and hit the ball. So, I mean, the Mets and the Braves are playing a series. I'd love to see the Braves win a few games because I'm a Phillies fan, and my other pick is Mick Abel, the guy that came out of the minors. He's had 3 starts. I think he's given up a total of 3 or 4 runs, so he's doing really well.
Especially with Acuna, he's batting like 460 or something like that. His OPS is over 1,000, just hitting the ball solid right now. And this is maybe what the Braves needed. And is it a little too late for a playoff push there? I don't. They're going to need a lot of stringing some wins in a row.
Strider's
there,
got to
yeah.
be a concern. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, he really hasn't looked like the Strider of old. Oh, we got a call.
I guess we can finish the Shining Stars and.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Who do you got?
I have Gage Wood. He's a pitcher from Arkansas. He
Okay.
threw the 3rd ever no-hitter in the Men's College World Series. He had 19 strikeouts.
And you know what? He only pitched like 50 innings this whole year or something.
Yeah.
He'd been hurt a lot. And
He and his
yeah.
I loved his post-game interview because he came up as like, what are your thoughts from the game? And he says, I shouldn't have hit that one guy, so he would have had a perfect game. And I thought that was funny. And he was you could tell that like he's a good person because after the game on Murray State, there was a player who he like trained with in the off season and made sure he went over and like hugged him and stuff before talking to the media and stuff. So that was cool to see.
Classy guy. Well, we'll root for him. And apparently he was penciled in as a top, like a number 50 pick in the draft. Or he might have moved up his
sucks.
stock.
Just-
It might have soared.
I'm going to go with the low-hanging fruit that you've been saying as well. I'm going to go with U.S. Open champ J.J. Spahn, first career major, at Oakmont.
What does JJ stand for?
That I'm not too sure. I haven't really dived into that there, but
Oh, that's trivia. I'm sorry. That's coming up at 7. So,
so the first round he was the leader. He he had a score of 4 under, but on Sunday he was 5 over after 6 holes, 5 bogeys, and just looked not in contention of winning. He shot 40 on the front 9, and then just caught on fire after that rain delay, and then birdied 17 with a great drive, and then 18 with a 60-foot putt to win it. Only needed 2 putts to win, and just sinks it, and wins a tough course at Oakmont. So
plus, how bad was the weather?
it was raining off and on Saturday, and then of course Sunday there. But the course was just very brutal. I mean that
Do you
the
have a
rough
special rule where you're allowed to dry your ball off or something? Let it pick
depends
it up?
on how bad the water is with
Okay.
the ball
The
there.
judges
but
have to step in.
they have to get rolling on all that there. So it's. That's the U.S. Open in a nutshell. There, it's always a tough course there, and
Oakmont in
yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Out near,
right near Pittsburgh there,
City.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Scotty was 4 over, so he was not really in contention throughout. He finished in the top 10 there, but he just
Nicholson didn't make the cut. Is
That
this
was
the
his-
end for him?
that was his last U.S. Open. So
Yeah, no more exemptions. Go back to the, he's getting a lot for, what's the name of that league?
the live golf there. So, but yeah, that was my shining star, and I believe we got a caller.
All right, so yeah, it's real quick. Otani,
yeah.
his first mound appearance, he went 1 inning, gave up 1 earned run. I mean, I guess the best thing is for the Dodgers, he didn't get hurt. I mean, everything went as planned, and they just only plan to use him for an inning.
They said that his next outing could be 8 to 9 days away from now. It's almost like spring, because the thing is, you can't have him go for a rehab assignment because he's not on the IL. He's
Right.
active. So as a
Does
two-way
this count?
player,
Does this cut down on his base stealing threat? You would think if he's going to pitch on a regular basis, you wouldn't want to. I mean, he's a great base stealer also.
yeah.
Yeah.
I believe he had a stolen base last night. He had 2 RBIs. He went.
After, yeah.
Yeah, he was the leadoff batter last night.
I know.
So yeah, it's
I mean, he's a Superman. So let's go to the phone line. Welcome to Sports Chat. Thanks for staying with us. Hello. Hey, Junior, what's going on?
Young Buck, I want to share some news with you.
A what?
I want to share some news with you.
Okay, news. Go ahead.
hey.
I want to tell you what happened 2 weeks ago.
He hasn't been on for 2 weeks.
Thank you. Corey speaks your special language, so go ahead, Robert.
2 weeks ago, we had the,
2 weeks ago, I
Williams Grove?
yeah.
All right, I know they got rained out one of these Fridays. Bring us up to date.
I'm going to give you the top 5.
And in no particular order?
Well, I'm going to go to the bottom 6 up.
All right, drum roll, number 5.
We have Lance Louise,
Familiar name. Go ahead.
very own Macquarie, number 4.
Anthony Macri, number 4. Go ahead.
Very own Danny Dietrich.
Gettysburg's own Danny Dietrich. Way to go. Danny Dietrich with bronze. Who's got the silver?
And then second, we have Roy Wellman.
Wagaman.
that's what I think he said.
And number 1, the gold.
I'm going to go with Fast Freddie Raymer. That's my guess. All right, look at that. Look at that.
He's a guru.
Yep.
Oh man.
I was looking at my notes. I didn't want to leave it on there, but I might have had that in my notes. That he won.
All right. Well, Corey, you said I'm just checking for last couple of weeks ago. You said Thunder in 5. I said Pacers in 7.
Well, yeah.
If the Thunder wins in 6 or 7, I guess we still got to give it to you because the number 1 tiebreaker should be the winning team.
The winning team, yeah.
I didn't think you'd disagree with me. So. Robert, what? Go ahead. Yeah.
So what's the tracker?
All right.
Oh yeah, E.T.
I
Thank you.
got some notes on this ET here.
Let's see. Last week it was 65.
We're up to 73. So it's just a little increased bump there. Sometimes we get 10, sometimes we get 8, but this is, another week where it's under 10. But the notable note there for the ET was Bruce Bochy got ejected. And you're probably thinking, who cares? He got ejected. But he is now tied 6th for the all-time ejections with Frankie Freach at 88. He's 5 away with tying Tony La Russa.
That's a dubious
That's a
distinction. Is
dubious.
Bobby Cox still number 1?
It's number 1. I don't think anyone's
He's
going
in
to
the
touch
Hall
him.
of Fame.
Yes, and you got couple other guys up there that's in the Hall of Fame there. So, ejection, it's not going
Earl
to.
Weaver was a classic.
Earl Weaver right up there. He's number 2. So,
really?
yeah, he's got ejected a lot, back in the day there. So,
And, Billy Martin, how many times, is he on that list?
I don't think he was in the top 5 there. But, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get the rankings right now.
I mean, inquiring minds want to know. Go ahead, Robert, you got something to share?
I think it's going to reach 100 here soon.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna reach 100, I would think, unless
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
is on their best behavior for another 90 games or whatever it is.
Let's see here. Let's
Mr. Chris,
Yes, sir.
my name tonight will be something related with soup.
Related to what?
I think soup.
soup.
Soup? Like split pea? Okay.
All right.
Chili? Is that a soup?
Yeah, chili's a soup. Yeah,
Okay.
I like chili soup. Billy Martin.
That's redundant. You don't have to say chili soup.
Billy Martin, 48 ejections. He is actually 20. He's tied with Tommy La Russa, 26 all time with ejections. So could not
Wow,
have
what a
50.
slouch.
Yeah.
That's why-
Oh, no, yeah.
Why don't you give us the top 10?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yes.
I think we're going to reach 100 by this week.
You think we're going to be at 100 at the
That's
next?
27 ejections in 1 week.
I think we'll probably be at 100 on July 4th.
Yeah.
Week there. So.
That- Whenever the All-Star break is, that's gonna hurt. We won't have too many games.
Yeah, well, that's the All-Star. I hope we don't.
Gonna keep it down.
I don't think we're going to get ejection during the All-Star game
No,
itself. There.
No,
yeah.
are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'll give you the top 5 there. This is Bobby Cox at 162, John McGraw, 121,
And he
Leo has 100, Earl Weaver 96, Tony La Russa 93. So
Who? Give me the top
yeah,
3, 4, 5 again.
Leo Ditro,
DeRocher.
Lucia, yeah, has
Leo
100.
DeRocher, Leo the Lip.
Earl Weaver 96, Tony La Russa 93, and then Bochy is just 5 away of being in the top
Seems
5.
so mild mannered. He might not make it.
You know,
I don't think it's
Maybe.
that important.
I
I mean,
think
he's
he
got
gets the
enough world
90, yeah.
championships maybe to get in as a manager when they were winning every even year. I mean, the
and
Giants.
those Giants years, yeah. What you got there, Robert? Yes.
Are you watching TV?
Next week, what's going to change at Williams Grove? It looks very good for this week.
What's going on at Williams Grove?
This week we're pushing this week.
I think you said they're racing this week.
I thought it was very good for this week.
They're racing this week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it should be the 10th.
Weather permitting.
I think it's supposed to be in the
Supposed to
90s
be nice
this
Friday
week.
night,
Yeah, heat wave. So,
Yeah.
I think the
Bring your fan helmet where you have the fans blowing on you.
bring some, bring the coolers with ice and all that there. You'll be fine.
Will there be a lot of trade?
I guess I was about to get there.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, Corey.
Yes.
So if what's his name? I'm going to return.
Well, come again? All I heard was Corey, and I was trying to get the rest of it.
What's his name? What's gone? He's calling now.
Yeah, we might get the other
Carl?
Corey or Carl or maybe a random person out there. But yeah, we'll
Hear that,
see.
random? Give us a call. Rando.
Talk to you guys next week.
Alrighty.
All right.
I guess
Thank you, sir.
I guess we can segue into the College World Series. I know we're talking about Gage Wood, but we just got a final. Louisville just beat Oregon State, and just seeing how this game was
Came
just.
from behind or like
Oregon
when?
State was, they scored 3 to tie, to make it a 6-6 game.
Top of the
Louisville
ninth.
had the bases loaded and got a sacrifice fly to win the game 7-6. Now to play, Coastal Carolina tomorrow.
Chanticleers.
Chanticleers.
Who, in my opinion, they're the favorite because they have 3 stud pitchers with a combined 27-3 record. So they're
Haven't they? Aren't they on a winning streak?
yeah, 25-game winning streak.
Wow.
And they're set up in a really good position because Louisville will now have to come in there and try to beat them twice. So
And that's the thing, if in this,
So it's down to 2 teams.
we're down to
right now.
five
Okay,
teams
okay.
there. So
And they don't play Rosenblatt anymore. They built a new stadium in Omaha.
Yep, Charles Schwab.
Charles Schwab.
nice stadium from seeing on TV there.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
tonight we're going to have LSU. The winner of that game will play LSU, and that's Arkansas versus UCLA. The winner of that will play LSU there. So, the thing is just winning. The percentage if you go up 2-0 is a good chance that you make it into the finals.
Yeah.
Not playing that the loser bracket and all that
Right,
there. So. I'm going to go with LSU winning the whole thing, but I think it's going to be Coastal and LSU. But it's shaping up to be a,
And you like Coastal?
I'll take
Brady?
LSU.
Yeah, I'll take Coastal.
Okay, well, make it interesting. You stay with LSU.
I'll go with LSU there. Yeah.
Bragging rights, all right. I know. People no, never mind. Go ahead. Coastal Carolina to win it all. So how many wins away are they?
They got to beat Louisville one of the next 2 times, and then they'll play either LSU, Arkansas, or UCLA, and that'll be a best of 3. So
Wow.
So 3 games they have to win.
most likely it'll be Coastal LSU in a 3-game series. So
Exciting.
I guess we can kind of segue back into the baseball. There.
Yeah,
And,
let's go around
yeah.
the divisions. I mean, all of a sudden things are getting a lot tighter. Everybody's thinking Yankees, Mets are going to run away with it. And they're the Rays are hot.
Yeah.
Phillies got hot again.
Yeah, I mean, we can
heat is
start with
on.
the AL East there, and the Rays are on a 4-game winning streak, and every team goes through
They
this.
swept the Mets in
Yep.
New York.
And they took the first game of 4 with the Orioles last night. The Yankees are on a 4-game losing streak. Just couldn't get
Fire Aaron Boone.
couldn't get through their rival with the Red Sox there, and they're 42-29 there. But I still think the Yankees are going to win that division there. But the Rays are putting some pressure on there. We're not even at halfway point of the season there.
Blue Jays were in second for a while, and then they kind of cooled off.
Yeah, they're on a 3-game losing streak, so you kind of
Yeah.
see how that goes.
And now the Red Sox, don't count them out either.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's we'll talk about the wild card in just a minute there, and then the Orioles are 30-41. They're creeping into that double digit, being under 500 there. If they can win the series with the Rays or just split, they'll be at 10. But just playing that catch up game there.
Yeah, you've got to kind of take it one series at a time. Try to win a series, and then the next one.
Well, I mean, they're the last 3 of 5 series they got sweeps, so that's how they're kind of creeping up in the wild card
Yeah.
race there itself. There,
What they do in the other 2 that they didn't sweep.
they took
They got swept?
one of 2 with
Cardinals.
the
of them.
Cardinals, and then they took 1 of 2 against the A's.
Didn't the Orioles have that streak of not getting
and the Tiger. Yeah, that's
of not getting swept for a couple of years? or
Yeah,
something
that was
like
that was going back from the 2023 season and 2024 season. I think they tied the record with the Braves, I think it was there, but and then they got swept up about 3-4 times last year or something like that there. But they had their losing streaks at a minimum there.
Well, let's go to the Central. Tigers, I mean, they might not lead major leagues in wins this year. I mean, there was a time where everybody probably thinking, oh, they're going to run away with it, but I'm not so sure.
Well, I guess you could put that division on the hot seat in general because nobody has won a game since like Saturday. The Tigers are on a 2-game losing streak. Twins on a 4, Guardians on a 3, Royals on a 6, and the White Sox on a 5. So that just tells you that nobody's playing each other right now because
Somebody
the
would
losing
have to
streak-
win a few
yeah.
of those games, but yeah. Ooh.
I look at this division. I think the Tigers are going to win that division.
No
probably
question,
with-
but I
with
mean,
2 weeks
there's
left,
a
yeah.
sometime in the last 10 days when they had the best record in all of baseball, maybe a couple of days.
Yeah, they cooled off a little bit there, but
Yeah.
you see the other teams really cooling off, or
Rick
just.
Skubal might be the best starting pitcher in the major leagues. What do you think?
I would agree with
Paul
that.
Skeens is right up there as well there, but I will say in the American League, I think he's probably by far
Well,
the.
that's true. I mean, Skubal has a bit more of a track record, but Skeens certainly seems durable. And he's superhuman, but.
Pirates just hate hitting when he pitches too, so.
He
it's
gets
4
zero run support.
4 and 6, something like that.
Yeah.
I think he had like one game where he got like 7 runs of support,
Yeah.
but mostly it's 0 runs or 1 run, and
He
have at
lost
it.
1-0 to the Phillies. That was Mick Abel's debut.
And then the AL West, you got the Astros
Athletics.
being the Astros. They're 10 games over 500. Seattle has come back down. They're playing below 500 in this month there. Texas is 36 and 36 on a 4-game winning streak. So
Maybe Boch will
just
turn him around with that ejection.
could be.
I don't know. DeGrom's pitching pretty well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pitching like DeGrom-esque of with the Mets. I think he has fully come back from that Tommy John there.
For how long?
And yeah, that's a big
You
thing.
probably keep your fingers crossed every time he goes out there. Is Scherzer close to coming back? I think I read that somewhere.
Scherzer, it looks like for the Blue Jays, it looks like
I think
You
he had
know,
a rehab assignment. or
probably in a
something.
couple weeks or something like that there. So,
Yeah.
and
But
then,
go ahead, back to the West.
And then the Angels got swept by the Orioles.
They beat the Yankees yesterday.
In extra innings there, so 1-0 there. And then the A's are just the A's. My bold prediction that they were going to be a dark horse contender is kind of on the wayside there. They're 30 and 44, but now the talk about the wild
More
card.
like a nag.
Yeah, more of a pest than anything there. But you look at the wild card, and I wouldn't discount the Orioles. The Orioles are 6.5 games back from that third wild card spot, but you have a lot of teams kind of.
Who are the top 3 right now?
Yeah, right now is the AL East. You got the Rays, Jays, and the Red Sox.
Really?
Yeah.
They're the top 3. Mm-hmm. And the Red Sox are what, 1 game over 500?
They are 2 games over 500.
Okay. What about in the National League? Let's segue over to that.
Yeah. So I'll let Brady
The
kind of
wild
take
card. Go ahead.
the National League there. So, I mean, what do you see from the National League wild card?
Just see the standings real quick. I think that it's going to be, well, the Phillies will be in there. Then I like the Giants and the Padres are next up. I think that the NL West is going to definitely send 3 teams, with the Dodgers probably winning the division. And then
Yeah,
I think
can the Snakes get back into it? But
Yeah. with Burns being out for the year, that'll be tough.
Yeah.
But I think the Braves, with Acuna coming back, could be a team if Strider gets things going. They're just so talented, it's kind of hard to count them out. So
who are the other wild cards behind the Phillies right now?
Behind the Phillies, you got the Giants and the Padres owning
That's
the
it. Okay,
second.
but I mean, what about the Central,
the
the
line.
Reds and the Brewers, and where are they?
I mean, the Brewers are 1 game back there. The Reds are 2.5 game backs, and the
This
Cardinals.
is of the third wild card.
Yeah, to the third wild card spot there. So, I'm right there with Brady. I think it's going to be 3 teams in the NL West that makes the playoffs. 2 wild card, and then whoever wins that division there. The Braves. I look at the Braves and the Orioles as similar teams. Is they had all this expectations of making the playoffs, and then you get off to a very slow start. I mean, the Braves started 0-9 to start the season. You can't start any worse than that. So you look at them, and then with the Orioles are 11 games under 500, 6.5 games back to the third wild card spot. And you got the Braves 31 and 39, 8 games under 500, but 7.5 games back from the third wild card spot. So you kind of look at that as like, which of those 2 teams could make that run? And
Chip away,
Yeah.
maybe try to get within 3 or 4 of the third wild card by the All-Star break.
yeah, so I can see the Orioles just with their schedule, with the Braves playing that division, it's going to be a tougher ride. So I would say just because of how almost mediocre the AL is, I can see the Orioles climbing a little bit closer to that line there. With the National League, you got the Giants and the Padres going to be playing the Rockies, where other divisions don't have that play.
Yeah.
So I said it before. I think I'll say it again. Whoever has the worst record, will probably now be the Diamondbacks there. But whoever has a losing record, it's not going to make the playoffs because you play them 13 times, where another team in the National League doesn't have that opportunity there. So you have to, take advantage of that. And I think anybody below the Braves, I don't see really making a shot there. Nationals are on a 9-game losing streak.
What
and they're-
about, well, you already talked about the Reds and the Brew Crew. They're in it, definitely.
It just depends on when Hunter Brown comes back. I mean, Hunter Green, I should
Hunter
say
Green
there.
and,
He's been on the IL with, an injury, a nagging injury. So,
Dela Cruz looks legit. I mean, that guy's really good. So, I mean, the Giants, to me, they're kind of a no-name team, but they just keep winning.
and who knows with this trade with Devers is,
Yeah.
that could, unlock. I mean, they're not that far away from the Dodgers. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers really came down to earth. They're not running away with it by any stretch of the
they're dealing
imagination.
with their injuries with starting pitching there, so it's just a matter of, they can go out and buy pitching and all that there, where other teams doesn't have that luxury there. So, see what happens. I mean, Kershaw's starting to get into form there. I mean, we haven't talked about him. And, Ohtani, I think that, I don't see Ohtani pitching, deep in the games. He's just going
The
to
opener.
just be the opener and still bat.
And then, so, is there any, it doesn't affect his spot in the lineup at all? They just can't use a different DH, or what, is there any
It's
restriction?
basically the Ohtani role.
Yeah, yeah.
You can place him into to bat because no one else is going to be like that. So they just
Right.
have him as a DH, and when he's out of the game, he is now a DH.
He can
So,
pitch.
Yep.
and-
It's a crazy thing
No,
there, but
it's-
yeah.
I mean, I know there are certain rules about that. but- So, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, just like you said, the 8 days off, so,
That's what they're going with. I mean, it could vary, he could be pushed to a week and a half or something like that there. So it just really depends on, what Dave Roberts and, that front office looks at. It's like, hey, we don't want to cautious, let's just wait and just kind of give them some time there. But it's quite the weapon to have.
Yeah.
Even out of the bullpen in the playoffs possibly, so.
Yeah, anything's on the table, with Ohtani there, so.
how's Bautista doing for the Orioles?
He's, he had a couple interesting moments there, but he's, I think he's starting to look like himself in the 2023 form there.
And you talked about Ohtani, remember when he struck out Mike Trout in the World Baseball Classic to end it? So that's what occurred to me, like, nice option to have in the pinch.
Yeah, I mean, with Bautista, you're getting ready to.
I know he got the save, I think, against the Angels, but he kind of allowed some base runners and stuff, but he'll get back to his form. He's got it. Once that splitter starts working again, that's his go-to pitch. So.
Yeah, he had a couple, splitters in the dirt there and, a couple pitches, way off to the side there. But, yeah, I like what I'm seeing, him pitching back-to-back days. And, that's going to be a factor if how the Orioles are in the second half of the season there. And especially, how they're playing going into July. I mean, do they trade some of their pieces? I'm not going to say they're going to trade Bautista, some of their other chips there. So.
How do you like Sir Anthony?
Well, he and Soto have actually been very good recently, the former
Two
Phillies.
former
Yep.
Phillies, yeah, I was gonna say.
If you would have asked me that back in like April, I would have given
Soto
you a
was
different.
stinking, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, that's what I said. I would have gave you a different answer in April.
He's kind of spotty, but Sir Anthony shows promise, but so he's been doing pretty well for the Orioles.
Recently, they both have been, so.
Yeah, okay, good.
What's the word with Harper? I saw that he could be coming back.
Who?
Or, Bryce
Otto
Harper.
Kemp could be
Yeah.
like the Lou Gehrig, Wally Pipp story? I don't think so. I saw the interesting thing online about guys who should be captain of their team, and at the top of the list was Harper, he should be the Phillies captain. I mean, what does a captain do in baseball? It's unclear.
It's
But
almost
supposedly he's only on the 10-day list, I think, and they brought up this guy Otto Kemp, great story, D2 player in college, and has just done better and better at every level. So he had 4 hits in a game, and, you know, he's not gonna replace Bryce Harper. Harper's not gonna be like Wally Pipp, never got back on the field.
Do you see Otto being the like a bench guy, or once?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's
I
that's
can
what
see
I'm.
that. I mean, he
yeah.
played third in one game. He's right-handed bat, so I mean, I see him when they got to make a move. I can see him staying up and Wilson going back down.
That's the logical move
Wendell
there, yeah.
Wilson, is that
Wendell,
his name?
yeah.
I mean, he's inconsistent. He hasn't really. His numbers don't jump very far to impress you.
And the other Philly news is Zach Wheeler will be retiring after his contract ends. So you don't
What he
see.
said?
Yeah, you don't see that too often.
Which is what?
After the 2026 season ends. So
So this year and next year.
yeah. So yeah, just like a
Workhorse, man.
Yeah.
That guy, I'll tell you, he's earned every penny of his contract. He just, definitely, number 2 in the Cy Young voting recently. I forget what year it was, but
I believe that was 2022 or one of those few
You don't have to
seasons
look
ago
it
there. I guess we can segue back into the basketball there, with the game last night. I know we talked about it to begin the show, but
yeah, well, that guy had 40 points. What, Williams,
Yeah,
Jalen Williams?
Jalen Williams.
I was going to ask you guys, do you think another good game and the Thunder closed it out in 6, could he beat out SGA for finals MVP?
You tell me, because I haven't watched a lot of it. I mean, 40 points will get you some votes. But
I think,
SGA's been doing a game in, game
30s,
out.
30s.
I think he will be probably second. I think it would be
Yeah.
They
SGA.
give a runner-up award, participation trophy.
Sometimes you see the votes, what the media, this person voted for that person. So sometimes we can see, who could have been second there. But I think it's probably SGA, and then
Obviously, Halliburton if the Pacers win.
well,
Siakam stole the Eastern Conference one from him, but
Well, I guess it depends. I mean, he could, it's up for grabs.
Yeah.
If they'd have to win 2 games, and
Yeah.
then it would be who was really key.
I would probably go in that direction.
Jay McConnell?
he played great the other
I
night.
know,
so.
former Sixer, so he's fun to watch.
And
But he
just
gets like 15 minutes, so.
Yeah,
the record that OKC has at home is just
daunting.
it's just daunting, and it's
Is
just
that tomorrow night?
well, they're going to be playing on Friday,
Until
in
Friday?
Indiana, and then it will be back
On Sunday?
on Sunday at OKC there. So,
If the game 7 is necessary.
but just the way it really all comes down to how Tyrese Halliburton is playing, because I don't see if he has another dud of a game. They were saying about his calf and all that there.
You got MRIs today, so they don't even know if he will play Game 6, which
Well, that
if he doesn't
changes
play,
everything.
it's pretty much wraps.
TJ McConnell in the starting lineup, playing 48 minutes.
I can see the Thunder, being favored by 10 on the road, which is just
Yeah.
crazy to see.
Especially if Halliburton can't play, that's
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed. But we'll see. So Brady, when do the Brushtown lads take up the game again?
We play, I believe it's
The Bulldogs.
at Cashtown on Thursday, and then on Sunday, I forget who we play, but I think we
Okay.
usually have a double.
At Cashtown Thursday.
Yes.
Good snack bar. I've been there. But Cashtown undefeated. So Robert Rohrbaugh, did he retire from the Pirates?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But yeah, they have a way of dusting guys off and bringing them back, and a lot of loyalty out there. Coach Ketterman does a great job, and good luck.
Thank you. Yep.
Well, you beat the Braves. Why
Yeah,
not?
we're
Why
trying
not? The
Try to
Pirates.
take one.
So thanks so much for joining us. Any shout outs or parting thoughts?
Nope.
I got
not
nothing
really.
You got
for
everything?
this one there,
We
yeah.
covered all your bullet
Yeah.
points.
Yep.
Did we talk tennis? We really didn't. I don't know if we talked about the French Open, but
Maybe, I think we did a
Oh,
little bit. Oh yeah, with
Coco.
Coco. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the Shining Star last week.
yeah, okay, we covered it. All right, well, listen, Jordan is here tonight, and so is Sean. So thanks to those guys for pushing all the right buttons, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. Stay with us. In 15 minutes, it's time for trivia.
Yeah.
Don't go away. Until next time, sports fans, good night. Mahalo.